All right, look like we live. I come out the green room. Oh man, this green room is busting today, y'all. Cause the amount of people in the green room today is crazy. I had to get out the green room, man. It's going down in the back, man. But yo, welcome everybody. Welcome to season 2, episode 8 of Brown and Bounce. I'm your humble, gracious host, Josh Davis. And y'all already know what it is, man. We start this off the same way every way, man. Rest in peace to George Floyd. Rest in peace to Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, all the other people we've been losing in the last year or so. You know what I mean? All the people that we lost before that, before it became, easier to film the atrocities with these lovely devices we have. Also, I have to say this, man, because it's been one of them weeks. The news been going crazy this week. Mental health has been all over the news this week. So mental health is super important. But my brothers out there, protect Black women, please. Naomi Osaka, Leah Cambridge from the WNBA, and also now Simone Biles. They all have pulled out of their respective sports. Mental, you know what I mean? I've been seeing a lot of different, stories up and down, different opinions. Yo, protect these sisters, brothers. Do not let these people get on TV and talk crazy about these young ladies, man. They are protecting their mental health, and Black women are the strongest people on the planet. They saved us over time and time again. They saved us in 2020. They've been saving me for all 42 years of my life. I've surrounded myself with strong Black women that have helped guide me on the way. I wouldn't be able to be here without some of them as well. So please, fellas, and everybody out there, but especially to my brothers, I'm talking to y'all specifically. Protect them, because they need us more now more than ever. All right. So now we got that out the way, and we got the most important parts out the way. Let's talk about Campari, because I need y'all to follow Campari Community. My new super producer this week's gonna throw it on the camera. You know what I mean? But I need y'all to follow Campari Community. I need you to jump on their mailing list. I already know it's gonna be streaming. It's gonna be in the comments. Get on that mailing list. I received something a couple weeks ago that I truly enjoy. I've been having fun playing around with garnishes, because the garnish scissors I received from Campari. Again, like I tell y'all every week, man, you never know what you need till you get it. You feel me? So with that being said, follow them, shoot them a holler, you know what I mean, and get on that mailing list, for real. They don't make me say this. They don't ask me to say it, but I'm saying it because of the value it brings to me and my life, all right? But enough of just Josh. Let's get to the show. We got a show. We got a returning guest coming. I'm not going to tell y'all who they are until they get on the camera. But what we're going to do is our first guest in our first segment, we have a returning guest who was the talk of season 1. She got us all in shape for the most part. I'm still working, but she got us all in shape for the most part. So we're going to bring in my very good friend, Miss Christina Ashe of Healthy Haven. You see, that's why I wore a long. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it too. I didn't want to do it too. We're going to bring Miss Christina on. First of all, how are you?
I am good. The sun is shining. I'm breathing. I can't complain.
I see it
right?
all on the. You know what I'm saying? You put the Vaseline on your face this morning, everything. I see it. You know how Black folks do it. You know what I mean?
No, I can't do that no more. But yes,
that's what's up. Well, it's good to have you back. You were legit the talk of season 1. I know with 2020 happening, fitness became super big in everybody's life. Me and you have had conversations on here and off of here about things I'm doing, goals I'm trying to achieve. So, what are you bringing to us today?
Well, first of all, I do want to celebrate you, because I do realize that it's been like 6 months and you have been consistently working out in the gym, and you're doing it with your kids. I hope that it's like making you feel good, because this is about sustainability at this point. I mean, you already mentioned Olympic athletes, because of their mental health, they're pulling out. For me, I was like, wow. But you have to sit there and wonder, okay, your mental health is more important than showing up for other people. Of course, this past year, a lot of mental health has gone up. And we always want to focus on, eating well, working out. And when we get to that, it's like, okay, I'm good. I can, for the most part, be stable. I'll have those bad days, but they won't be as bad.
Right.
So with what I talk about today is gut health. So your gut, we call it the big brain. I don't know if you know, the gut has more neurons in our gut than our brain does.
Didn't know that.
Yes. So we technically say the brain sends like messages, but the gut is the one that starts the message. So you've been working out, you've been doing all these new things to your body, but your gut also needs to be functioning properly so that you can continue to do this.
Okay.
So this is the one thing I have with a lot of my clients and my friends and anybody. So now everybody on Brown and Balance, y'all my friends. And I'm going to talk about this. I posted this on my stories probably like maybe a month ago. My client, she screenshot it. She was like, thank you for taking a shot of poop. I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all don't like going to the doctors or you just like completely ignore a lot of things, the way you poop and how often you poop is going to tell you a lot about your gut health. Okay. And I'll post that again today, actually.
Please.
I'll post it.
Now I have a lot of questions. I ain't going to tell everybody how many times, but I got questions.
All right. So, I mean, gut health is really important because number one, a happy gut is a happy person. You know, there's a lot of people who, because of the pandemic, you know, a lot of us were drinking more, me included. And then I was like, yo, I have this like fiery feeling in my gut. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, this is not normal. So I had to like shut it down for a bit because I was like, okay, there's a lot of inflammation going on. I was having acid reflux. I don't know if people have acid reflux, that is a signal that your body's saying, hey, I'm a little inflamed. I need you to cut certain things back a little bit. So that's another way where you can tell that something's, you know, a little off. So I talk about when it comes to gut health, reducing the inflammation, but ways that we can do that is eating well. Probiotics. Do you take probiotics?
Yep.
Okay. So do you take prebiotics?
No.
Do you know what prebiotics are?
No.
Okay. So the probiotics are the good gut bacteria.
Okay.
Okay. Like babies, they get sick a lot because they're growing that. So that's why a lot of children will get sick more often than adults because they haven't had all their good bacteria in their gut yet. But prebiotics are fruits and vegetables.
Oh, I do those. Yeah,
yes.
I do those. Yeah, I do that.
Yes. So one of my favorite, I posted yesterday, was garlic, which is.
We talked about that yesterday too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're a garlic fan like I am. I can never not have enough garlic. It's not a thing. Like a recipe will say 2 cloves. I might just put the whole bulb in there. That's exactly. So garlic is a prebiotic fiber, which feeds the good bacteria. Also, Jerusalem artichokes. What is another one? Dandelion roots. So those are prebiotic fibers. So if you're taking probiotics, that's amazing. That's the first step. Now you want to feed the good bacteria in your gut so that it continues to do what you need it to do. Okay. And that's fruits and vegetables and prebiotic fibers. Okay. Because a happy gut is a happy person.
I dig it. I'm with you.
So with that too, when your gut is happy, you have more energy. You have more energy. You can work out more. You can go play with your kids. You can just add more movement to your day, which is necessary for us for optimal health. Okay.
I dig it. I'm with that. All right, cool. I dig that. So now I have a question that's not on gut health, but I always have
you do.
You get all these Instagram people that think they know what they're talking about, but I'm like, I know somebody that really knows what they're talking about. So let me ask her, what do you feel about fasting?
Okay, so I've actually been doing a lot of research on intermittent fasting. I don't feel like you need to purposely fast. What I try and get a lot of people to understand is eat when you're hungry.
Right.
But there has been a lot of information out there talking about reducing the amount of time during the day that we eat.
Okay.
Because by doing that, then our body has a break. It's not constantly going. It's not overworked. When I mean your body, I mean like your gut, the digestive system, starting from your mouth, going all the way and coming back out. So they do recommend, and I have been doing this, but I don't do it on purpose. I'm just a coffee drinker.
Okay.
So coffee is an appetite suppressant. So when I have coffee, I'm not hungry probably till like noon.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then try and have a cup of coffee and be like, wait a minute, I thought I was hungry, but I'm not.
Right.
Yeah. So I won't eat until noon, and I'll normally eat until probably about 7, but it all depends on your lifestyle. Because when I was working in the bars, I was still eating at midnight because I wouldn't get off till like 2:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
So it just depends. So everybody's different, but fasting is not a bad thing. You just want to do it correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at. Like, I had a friend of mine, he did it and it worked. Okay, we back?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like the longest. I was like,
yeah, I was like, I didn't know what happened. So for everybody out there watching, we're back. We still here. We're sorry about that. Live show, man. Things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what the last thing I was saying was
your friend.
A friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like, he did it for like a week. He didn't do nothing but like water and like fruit and vegetables for like a week. Yeah. I was like, okay, that seems cool, but I don't know if that's necessarily for me.
Yeah.
That's what I want to try to do. So I'll probably hit you up and ask you for some more tips and tricks on fasting and different things like that, because I don't know enough about it myself to just jump 2 feet in and just do something. You know?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to deprive your body of nutrients and vitamins that you need. So yeah, there's an appropriate way to fast, so that you're not lacking energy, you're not feeling lethargic or nauseous or anything like that. So yeah, there's an appropriate way to do it. Don't just like buy somebody's juice fast and think
right.
you on the right track, and then you be like, God damn it, I'm hungry.
Right, and I just pass out one day while I'm at work.
Exactly. Walking down the street, I find out you passed out somewhere.
I got you. So what you got going on? What's next for you? What's next for you for the Healthy Haven? Like, what's going on with you next?
Okay, so my fitness subscription is coming up. I'm getting that together so that I can be your personal trainer without you and me being face to face. And there'll be strategic workouts so that like you're not just going into the gym just doing whatever. You're gonna actually get what you want from those 60 to 90 days. Yeah, definitely.
Word, I dig it. Okay, well, look, tell the people how to find you, where to get at you at, so they can get some of these good tips and tricks when you're not on Brown and Balance.
Yes. Okay. So my Instagram is Chris D Ashe, which is my name, Christina Danielle Ashe. And then my website is itsahealthyhaven.com.
Word. Well, Christina, we thank you for this gut health. Now I'm gonna go do some quizzes when I get out of here before I go to work today. You know what I mean? But we appreciate you and all the tips and tricks that you give, and definitely having you back for season 2. And as we keep going, you're definitely a part of the Brown and Balance family forever.
It's a pleasure. I love talking to you. You guys have a great day and stay hydrated. It's hot outside.
This Campari water. This is the Campari water that we're doing. So, that was our first guest. That was Christina. She's super dope, y'all. I mean, if you tuned in on season 1, you already knew that. And then we're going to bring her back season 2. And as we continue to grow, maybe when we come back to DC for a live event, maybe we'll have Christina come out and we'll do a little workshop there. Who knows? All right. So we're gonna keep this party rocking, man. Christina talked about that. I work out. Me and my oldest son work out together. We get in the gym and get busting. And to do that, I hang out with my kids a lot. And I've made mistakes raising them. I've trial and error. Nobody died, so I'm doing a good job so far. I got 1 in 19, 1 in 13, and 1 in 12, and everybody's still here. So knock on wood, I did something right. But I had a lot of help on the way. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kick it over to my big sister, my In the Streets correspondent, who is out living her best life and left me at the bar. But that's okay. Miss Sherri Bradley, because as she welcomes a guest for somebody come get these kids. Okay. What's up, Sherri? She might be a little
How are you, honey bun?
I'm good. You're in a better place than me, but I'm okay. I wish I was out with my shirt off. I have to say that
yes, I am. You here with me in spirit. Just for everybody at home. I know the weather is nice in Chicago, though, right?
It is. It's hot. We only got Lollapalooza this weekend, so the COVID cloud is over all of Chicago right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I am on a family vacation, and I actually have my Lonnie Pooh with me. So she's not with me now because otherwise she'd be all up in the camera talking about, hi, everybody, hi. But part of life with kids is living life with kids, and part of life for me is definitely vacation. I can't live without it, and Lonnie is going to grow up the same way easily, because she is in her 7th heaven here. I think it's important to expose kids to as much as possible, regardless of how young you start. I know there are a lot of adults that haven't been out of, the city, the state, the country, and I'm happy to, to have her experience a lot of this with me. So when she grows up and is of age, things are not going to be a shock or a surprise to her. Nobody can really woo her with anything because she's done everything. So with that being said, because we love our kids, today we have a special guest who has 2 kids. She is the Bourbon Bohemian, Ramona. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Brown and Balance, live from Mexico.
As you guys can see.
I'll be at the beach for you. I'll be here for you. Ramona, tell us where you are located. Give us a real quick description of your business.
Yes, so I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually north of the city of Marietta, but if you live in the metro area, you can be, all the places. But I have
the area.
I know, that's right. I work in tech, but my passion project is the Bourbon Bohemian. That's my alter ego on Instagram and other platforms. And I make cocktail kits. I do cocktail experiences and do beverage consulting. So that is how I have made it through the pandemic, or the panty so far.
The panty so far. That's awesome. Were you doing anything like this pre-pandemic? Were you a bartender by trade or history?
Nope, I've never been a bartender. I have been a connector, so I'm always trying to pull people together. So for probably the last, I would say 8 or so years, I've been just bringing people together for field days, game nights, different events. And for those events, you got to feed the people and you got to get the people drinks. So I would do batch cocktails.
Absolutely.
Just to make sure that people had a good time, but I never really understood the actual spirits industry and cocktails until I really dived into the Bourbon Bohemian in the last year or so.
That's really funny. That's exactly how I started bartending. I used to have a lot of friends over, and they had to eat and they had to drink. And I already had kind of a passion for it. So one thing led to another, and here we are. Let's talk about your kiddies. You have 2 kids?
Yes, 2 boys, 12 and 14. So back to back, I'm done. And they're interesting. They're like my left and right brain. My 12-year-old is like a creative. He acts, He's been in movies, television
Oh,
shows. He draws. He's like all things creative. And then my 14-year-old is like all things like scientific. He's like a STEM nerd. Like he's all about math and
wow.
science. So they're my four cruxes.
That's awesome. And your 14-year-old plays basketball, right?
Yeah. So he plays
And
AAU basketball.
how do you manage incorporating activities like that with your business and your time schedule?
Yeah, so it's difficult because I work full time outside of the Bourbon Bohemian, and I have to cart him back and forth to basketball. But it's a lot of scheduling and then involving each other in one another's passions. So like he helps me put cocktail kits together that I'm shipping out for my subscribers, and I coached him as like I was his basketball coach for a number of years when he was getting ready to get into AAU basketball. So it's like we both have our own passions, but as long as we participate in them together, I feel like it works.
Cool. Sweet. And I know you said your 12-year-old helps out a lot with some of the creative parts of the Bourbon Bohemian. And then also talk to us about some of the projects that he's done on his own outside of helping you.
Yeah, so it was funny. I was like, hey guys, I really need your help putting the kids together. And my 14-year-old was like, okay, he'll put the kids together. My 12-year-old was like, I want to be a part of the creative process. And because he cooks too, he understands flavor profiles and he loves to travel. So he's very like interested in like the creation of the simple syrups and like tying the flavors in the cocktails to different countries that we visited together. But on his own, like he is like a prolific artist. Like he was in the last Shaft movie. He recently was in a short film that came out called Affirmation. He's been diligently like auditioning for different like Netflix shows. Like he, at 12 years old, like he's done things that I never even imagined that I would be able to do as an adult. So I feel like he is definitely an inspiration to me to like just try it and see where it lands. But he definitely inspires me, especially with flavors.
What does he want to do when he grows up, or what do you see him doing as a profession?
He is the ultimate bohemian. So I see him like owning a restaurant, being an actor, having his own like comic book business. Like he will definitely not be a traditional like I work a job person, which I'm totally down for. As opposed to like my oldest, where I could see him being like a vet or a basketball player. But my 12-year-old, like he's probably gonna have like 19 streams of income.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. What kind of conversations do you have with them? I know as a Black bartender, we have different experiences, and certainly as a Black parent, we have different experiences, and we often have to have different conversations with our children. So just knowing that your 12-year-old is such a free spirit and so outgoing, what kind of conversations do you feel like you may need to have with him just to kind of prepare him for, you know, the unfortunate parts of our society that are not going to make things, I won't say easy, but just make his road comfortable?
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of things in the news about just like self-esteem and addictions, especially during the pandemic, because people are trying to cope. So I talk to both of my kids a lot about how to experience things without losing yourself in things, because they get exposed to a lot by their peers. And I don't want them to ever feel like they can't talk to me about the things that they're being exposed to, or to feel like they have to lose their self to the things that they're being exposed to. There's drugs, there's alcohol, there's all of these things that kids are being exposed to. But I'm a firm believer in like open lines of communication. There's no shame, there's no judgment, but if you should be able to talk to me first before you talk to anybody else. And if you want to experiment with something, the best person to talk to is your parent, who has probably experimented with those things in the past. So it's tough because sometimes they come to me with some things and I'm like, I don't want to kill you, I want them to come to me to say, you know,
Absolutely.
I like a girl, or I heard a conversation on the bus, or a friend showed me this thing, because life is about experimentation. Like my business is about experimentation and trying things that no one has ever tried before. So I want my kids to live that as well.
Good. Man, listen, these kids, they pick up so much so fast and so early. Lonnie at 4 already picks up probably more than I'm ready to discuss with her. So I can imagine at 12 and 14, and, you know, being out in with the activities and the world that they're in is, you know, I'm always nervous whenever Lonnie fixes her mouth to ask something. I'm like, I don't know what. And then she starts school in a couple of weeks, actually. So that's going to be a roller coaster ride for sure.
Yeah, it's good and bad. My kids start school on Monday, and I'm happy about it because they've been eating me out of house and home. But I also know that it's another world of things that they'll be exposed to that I, as a parent and a professional, have to kind of balance with my own passions and my own gifts.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us how to subscribe to the Bourbon Bohemian and what you are doing now that the world is kind of reopening, which I say that with caution because of, you know, the numbers are rising and people act like there was never a pandemic that happened. But, you know, I don't want us to go back in the pandemic for your subscriptions to go up, but tell us what you're doing with first how to subscribe, and then if you're doing anything different now that the world is kind of a little more open.
Definitely. So my IG handle is at the Bourbon Bohemian. You can access my website from my bio. It's www.thebourbonbohemian.com. I have 2 subscriptions available, one for a single cocktail, one for a double cocktail. They come to you monthly and they're inspired by a different country every month. So as much as I would like to be somewhere else, I'm home. So I travel through cocktails and I take people with me through those cocktails. So you can definitely subscribe there. Definitely follow me on IG. I'm not as prolific as other people because I do work full time in tech, but I try to post all of the different things that I'm experimenting with, different syrups, different fruits and vegetables and flavors. I'm on a mushroom kick right now, and mushroom is amazing in cocktails. Don't let anybody tell you different. But yeah, so I'm like, if you're open to trying new things, and if you love food, I'm a fatty. Follow me because if you like oxtail, I'm putting like curries and jerk in a cocktail. If you like Thai food, I'm doing like green curries.
I like all of that.
So yeah, that's what I'm here for.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The Cleveland Bourbon Girl and everyone else said like I'm the garnish queen. I only put garnish on my cocktails that I can eat because I'm a fatty, but I do love the presentation. So
presentation is key. I bring that with me from my merchandising and retail years. Presentation is very important.
Absolutely.
So my last question, what is your favorite cocktail, or what kind of cocktail do you unwind with when someone has actually come and got the kids and you got a little Ramona time? And
so I'm actually not that big of a cocktail person for unwinding. Like the Bourbon Bohemian is straight up like I'm a bourbon girl. So like I love Blade and Bow whiskey. That's my jam to like a neat 2-finger pour. But if I'm doing a cocktail, I actually lean towards gin. So I'm a Negroni girl. Okay. And there's a Negroni bar here in Atlanta called Fornavero that has like an actual like Negroni menu. That's my second home.
I love it.
Neat pours of bourbon, but gin cocktails are like my way to unwind when somebody come and get these kids.
All right. That's awesome. Sound like my kind of girl. Do you have anything else that you want to share with us or tell us before we give the stage back to Joshua?
I would just encourage everyone to like follow your passions. It might not always look like what the world says it should look like, but just follow it. Like try new things. Don't be afraid to like do something different. And if you do have kids, make them a part of the process. Like, they're learning and growing their sponges. Like, they want to know more. Like, give them an opportunity to learn more, and don't be afraid because it's spirits. Like, it's okay.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Thank you so much for taking time to join us today. We're very excited about your project and your wonderful creative kids that's going to grow up, take over the world. Congratulations on the success of the Bourbon Bohemian. We wish you much continued success, and cheers to you and the kiddies.
Cheers.
Hi, Josh.
That was dope, y'all. I appreciate it. That was a killer. First of all, anybody that bought a normalized Black Bartender t-shirt, Ramona has hers on today. And for next summer, since we taking fitness tips from Christina, we're gonna have the bikinis for Sherri, and we'll have some normalized Black Bartender brown and balanced bikinis for those good pool parties and when you're hanging out with Sherri.
Yes.
Now, everybody look like Sherri? Probably not. But
well,
we're gonna have them for y'all.
Everybody's welcome.
We don't do no shaming around here. Y'all all are welcome.
None. Zero.
I appreciate both you sisters. When I made that comment earlier, Sherri is one of those women, those Black women I've surrounded myself with to make me a better person that we always need to protect. Ramona, you have become that for me too. So I just want to say I appreciate both of y'all and all the insight you guys gave today.
Thank you, Joshua. Love you, babe.
And everybody else, don't call me Joshua. Sherri's the only one that can do that.
Sorry, don't call him Joshua.
Right, don't nobody get comfortable with me thinking y'all know me as good as Sherri do, because you don't. You know what I mean?
But definitely don't call him Joshua.
Oh God, look at that view. That view is amazing. We all need to be where Sherri is right now.
Yeah, now let me draw my laptop over. That would be disastrous.
All right, y'all. Y'all going back in the green room. Sherri, have fun. Enjoy the beach. Yeah, that was it. I'm really jealous I'm not on the beach with Sherri. But before we move to our special guest for the day, I need you guys to go hit Campari Community on Instagram. Follow Campari Community 1. 2, get on their mailing list. I know it's going to be popping up in a second because I got another great super producer today, man. Shout out to my brother Mobes. Yo, please sign up, get involved, all right? So now, earlier this year, you guys saw Ramona had her normalized Black Bartenders t-shirts on that we produced through Brown and Balance. And we made another shirt. And the shirt had 7 names on it. And we've had the privilege and honor to have a couple of the people that was on that shirt come on Brown and Balance and share their stories. But today is very special because there would be no Brown and Balance without the gentleman that's coming on next. There would be no Josh doing some of the things I've done without his counsel, without him just being that big brother to throw his hand on my shoulder and tell me when I'm messing up and to tell me when I'm doing good. So without further ado, we have a very, very, very special guest, one of the names of the OG7. My
Yo, what's up, fam?
First Trap King. My brother.
Here we go. Yo, bring back all the finest Black woman. Where'd they go?
My brother Jackie Summers, man. How you doing, man?
Good to see you, fam. How you feel?
Man, brother, it's been good. We had a good time earlier this week doing something similar to this. You know, every time I talk to you, man, you take us to church, bro. So I
want to back up what you said earlier. Protect Black women, but don't think they need you to save them. They don't.
Nope.
You're not their savior.
Nope. But they need us to step our game up heavily.
Yes.
We need to step our game up super heavily.
Absolutely.
Man. So look, for anybody that's been under a rock for the last 20 years and don't know who you are, you want to tell the people, man, who is Jackie Summers and what does Jackie Summers do?
I started a company called Jack from Brooklyn. I launched a brand called Sorrel. Can I show it? Is that okay?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Look at this beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's some good juice too.
I didn't know it at the time, but when I got my license to make liquor, I was the only Black person in America with the license to make liquor. Come to find out that as far as we can tell, I'm the first Black person post-prohibition to have a license to make liquor. We don't really have good records prior to Prohibition. So I might be the first legal black distillery. It's literally hard to tell. But the thing I do most is I advocate for people. I advocate for people that look like us. I advocate for women. I advocate for handicapped people. I advocate for disabled. I advocate for the queer community. I advocate for indigenous people. I advocate for anyone who has been disenfranchised by this system. Because here's the truth of the matter. We've been here. We've been here, and we've been about good stuff from the beginning, and we ain't going nowhere, and we're ready for ours.
Absolutely. It was on our backs. We were forced to do it.
Yes.
It was on our backs.
Yes.
Our ancestors did what we do now.
Oh, listen, we stand on a mountain of sacrifice, but the purpose of standing on the mountain is to make it higher for those who come after us.
Mm-hmm. So for you, I got to throw you a curveball question. I literally thought about it right before I brought you on. There's people like myself, and I send you all praise is due for all the things you've done for me. And I know there's a ton of other people that look at you like, that's the man. Like, I want to be Jackie. Who does Jackie draw inspiration from?
I draw inspiration from a ton of people. You may not get this, but I draw inspiration from you all the time.
Thank you.
Right? Like, your talent is different than mine. I forgot to procreate. But like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it's like to face the challenges you have to face in the world we're living in with kids. Yeah. I'd be terrified.
I am.
When my kids out into the world every day.
I am.
We talk about protect black women, and I'm all for that. But man, I don't know how to protect our kids except changing the world. So like, I draw inspiration from everybody. You're an inspiration to me. Everyone that's been on the show has been an inspiration so far in their own different ways. I got some family that I'm super close with that's inspirational. I got business associates that are inspirational. Fawn Weaver has been amazing. I learn from her every day. Some people are inspirational just so I know what not to do. That's important too. Like, you can learn from everyone, even if what you're learning is, don't make those mistakes. Make your own.
Yeah, I got that. I'm with you on that, man. But look, let's talk surreal, bro.
Talk it.
Let's talk surreal, because I came front, man. I tell this story. I don't think I've told it on here, but I've told it other times. I had no idea what a brand rep was and what I was supposed to do. And you took a shot on me before we ever really knew each other.
Man, you was going to make your way one way or the other.
Absolutely.
I had very little to do with that. You was going to find a way.
But you saw that when I didn't even see it in myself. So,
dude, have you met you? You're incredible. What are you talking about?
I appreciate, I don't like praise on me. I always try to give the praise back. You know what I'm saying?
Take some flowers for a change, bro.
I will. I'm going to take it. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? For real. That meant a lot, because we didn't know each other. We had one phone call, and it was a lot of words used on that call that we can't say on here. Shout out to Campari. I can't curse. But it was a lot of words used that we're not going to say here live. But you took a shot on a kid that was making his way in this game. And Chicago knows about Surreal because of me. And I'm appreciative of you for giving me that opportunity. But now we've relaunched.
There wasn't anyone else I wanted, for real. It was a very, very easy decision, and I know it was the right choice to make.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But see, now, 7, 8 years later, now we relaunched, man. So let's talk about the process. Like, how'd you get from where we were to where we are now, and now the relaunching and moving forward? What's going on?
Oh, how I got here is I failed.
Nah.
No, for real. I failed really, really hard. I had 2 multi-million-dollar contracts that failed. I ended up homeless. I had a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
I failed hard. But here's the thing. You don't start to become the hero in your story until you are at the very lowest point of your life.
Yeah.
When you make your decision to move forward, when you have nothing and no reason to continue, that's where it all starts to get interesting. I was telling the story literally an hour ago. I've got this very specific memory of December 2017. not long ago, waking up to the very distinct sensation of snowflakes melting on my face, which sounds idyllic, except I was waking up outside in New York City in winter because I was homeless.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny part. My first thought was not, I need to get somewhere warm. My first thought was, I need to go charge my phone because I have an essay due. And if I don't meet my deadline, I'm not going to have money to put toward my deposit to get my apartment.
Wow.
Those are the moments that you remember, like this stuff that's happening now. None of it happens. None of it happens if you don't choose when you're at your lowest point to continue to move forward. So if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if you feel like you can't go on, like you owe it to yourself to find out how the story ends. Keep going, persevere. The people we got here, Josh, because your father and our fathers and our grandparents and our great grandparents, people persevered. Yo, keep going, persevere.
Word. Wow. See, I told y'all we was going to church today, man. That's dope, man. So let's talk about how Sorrel relaunched, man. I know you partnered with Fawn and the Uncle Nearest team. Shout out to all of them. How'd that come about? And then, man, what we going next? What we doing? Because, I can't get my signed bottle yet because it's not available in Illinois yet. So I'm
going to hand you a copy. Don't worry about that. I got you. The short version is I was working with an investment company to bring Sorrel back, and they tried to get shiesty on me. So I did something I don't normally do, and something that Black men do not normally do. And we should, you say normalize stuff, normalize asking for help. I reached out to Fawn Weaver out of a blue sky, and I said, Fawn, I'm having trouble with this investment group I'm working with. Can you offer some guidance? The next day, we had a guarantee for $2 million in funding.
Wow.
Because Fawn does not play.
Black women.
Just let's be clear about this. Black and brown women save the world. They've been saving it. But for the record, if you are like Simone Biles and you just tired, take a break. We got you.
Absolutely.
We will cover you. You deserve the break. We will make sure it does not fall apart. Take your time. Take a few days. Take a few weeks. Take whatever you need. We got your back. We got this.
Word. Man, dog, see, when I talk to you, I just listen. I don't be having no questions when I talk to you. Because I listen. But the thing that you just said resonated with me the most was like, ask for help. We've had this talk. I don't ask for help at all. Like, never. It's very rare you're going to catch me ask somebody to do something to help me out. Rest in peace to my pops. He was the same way. You know what I mean?
We were raised that way, man.
Yeah. So I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm learning how to do that. So it's gonna be a test and a struggle, but we're gonna get there one of these days.
Listen, I will tell you, there is a very serious mental health crisis among Black men because we weren't raised to be in touch with our feelings. Yeah. Like, we actually have feelings. We're human. Absolutely. We're human beings.
Absolutely.
And here's the beautiful thing, and I say this all the time about Fawn Weaver. Fawn Weaver will give you the gift of transparency.
Yeah.
Because she's got the best BS detector of anybody I know. But if you try to front, she will see through it and call you on it. Word. And it is a gift to be able to go, I'm struggling, and I could really use a hand right now.
Word.
That's a gift. It's a gift to be able to put that trust in another human being. So may we all find someone we can trust enough to be vulnerable around.
Absolutely. Hey, that's dope, man. You're one of them people for me for sure. You know what I mean? And that's a good segue because the OG7 t-shirt that we did, you know what I'm saying? Those were all the 7 people on that shirt are all people I've confided in over the years that I've talked to, been an integral part of what Brown and Balance has become. What was that feeling like? One, when you got that message from me before I put it out, and then the overwhelming support of that shirt. What did that feel to see yourself basically immortalized now.
Listen, you know me, man. I clown a lot. I don't take myself very seriously, but I do take my commitment to my community very, very seriously. So it felt like I got to contribute to the new G7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right now, there are people out there who are launching careers, who are starting brands, who are deciding to be entrepreneurs, who've decided that they don't want to work for anybody else anymore. They want to work for themselves. And if anything I do or have done contributes to someone that has been marginalized, figuring out for themselves, we could do this, then that's my responsibility, and I'm glad to contribute to my community. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It was never about me. It's about us and how we can rise together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So everybody out there that hears me say something similar to that, y'all see exactly where I get it from now. It's never about me. It's always about pushing up that next person behind us. So
yes,
man, Jack, I appreciate you, brother, coming on, man.
This is a very real thing. Like, we were raised in a model that we're taught to build and accumulate.
Yep.
But the model that we come from is build and distribute.
Sure. Yep.
The model we come from is I will accumulate so I can see who needs. Mm-hmm. I will accumulate to make sure that if my brother is down, I can help them out. I will build so that I can make sure other people can build too. Mm-hmm. It is never about me. It is always about what we can do together.
Absolutely. Tell the folks how to find you, man. Like I said, whoever is not following you, I don't know how they're not, but
boom, it's on screen. Mine is the Liquor Team, but what you really want to follow is Sorrel Official. Boom. Because we about to be everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, well, you already know. Once you touch down in the land here, man, you already know. I still got my recipes from before. So
I got you, fam.
Whatever you need here, you already know I got you.
I got you, fam. I love you, man.
I love you, man. Thank you for coming on, sharing your knowledge.
Always.
You know what I mean? Like,
bring back the fine ass black woman, though.
Yeah, it's one more coming. Yeah. Let's get me and you off screen, and let's get back to the beautiful black women that we have in the industry, brother. Thank you, Jack, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, any taste, please.
Always, y'all. So look, y'all, that was Jack, man. Like, so sometimes, man, when your mentors, man, when your heroes come on, y'all saw Ian, who's another member of the OG7, come on. Once already, you just have to sit back and you just got to take it all in, man. So that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So before we get to our featured bartender, one thing I want to do is I want to say follow Campari Community. Let's get that out the way. Now, follow Campari Community. Get on that mailing list. It's out there. You can do it while you're listening to this. Just, pop the screens. These phones are able to do more than one thing at once. Let's do that. Also, I just want to put out there, this weekend is a very, very special weekend. July 30th, 2017, which is July 30th tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Or is it today? Oh, no, today's the 30th. I'm tripping. Wow. July 30th, 2017 was the very first ever Brown and Balanced. So it's our 4-year anniversary. So, follow Brown and Balanced. Tomorrow we're going to have an anniversary party. It's going to be a ton of lives. It's going to be some special guests popping in, a lot of throwback pictures from all of our Brown and Balanced parties over the years, man. 4 years flies by when you're having fun. I look back and I remember that it was myself and Micah Anderson. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Micah. He stood next to me when this was just an idea. Shout out to my Lush Life team, Brittany and Lindsay and Dave, super producer, and Liz, and even some of our former teammates that really helped to bring Brown and Balanced to life, man. Shout out to my brother David Dorton and my brother David Kwan, who all have put their hands on Brown and Balanced to get us from that one event where it was just myself and Micah rocking out his shows. Shout out to Omar, season 1, Brown and Balanced alumni, to get us to now where we here now 4 years later, man. It's been a fun ride, and it's not stopping. This train is nowhere near the end of the line, and we're going to keep pushing. So thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you to everybody who's contributed to Brown and Balanced, whether you are a bartender, whether you were a sponsor, whether you were just somebody behind the scenes, whether you wouldn't just grab ice, you know what I mean? Whatever you did, man, to help, there was no job too big, too small to make this thing a reality. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Just had to put that out there. I really was tripping and thinking today was the 29th, but it is the 30th. So it's our anniversary. You know what I mean? Happy anniversary to us. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna welcome a new bartender to the Brown and Balanced family today, Miss Charli Talley, straight out of Chicago. She actually lives down the street from me, but don't never come and visit. But that's okay. We'll talk about that another time. I've known Charli. Man, I've known Charli since like 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. I don't know. I had hair when I remember that much. So Charli's been part of the reason why I am now, looking like this over the years. But no, we want to welcome her. Charli is a mobile bartender in Chicago. I'm gonna let her talk about her business and all of that, but she is truly one of the best in the city, and I have not been showing my hometown enough love. So I wanted to make sure we brought this wonderful sister on to showcase what she does for a living. So how are you, Charli?
I'm great, Josh. I'm great.
Good. I see you. Oh, you already marketed up. You got your banner in the back and everything. I love it. Preparedness.
It really is not about branding. It's about my roommates.
That as well. Keeping them out the screen. I get it.
I have one corner in my home. That's it.
Well, look, I'm going to get out the way. I want you to tell the Charli Talley story, how you got in the industry, how you got to the traveling tender, and how that got started.
Oh, thanks, Josh. You know what? Before I say anything, I want to say thanks, Josh. I know that you say that I'm new to this. I've been kind of behind you, pushing you along and supporting you. And I am, like many hospitality workers, really accustomed to cheering on everyone else. So Frontlines has not always been me. I'm more about that person that's just pushing and cheering on everyone else. And Josh, with you and the family, and you guys know who we're talking about, are doing amazing things with Brown and Balanced. I've known Josh since his Mr. Mixologist days.
I'm still that.
I know, right? I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, and I also want to thank you, Campari, Thirsty. I want to thank Portland Cocktail Week for allowing us this stage, this opportunity, this resource, because it is beyond amazing. Beyond amazing. For me, you know that my start in the industry, I was kind of born in the hospitality industry. I was just a teenager when I started. I remember getting off a bus trying to apply for a job at McDonald's. I was a newly emancipated 15-year-old, needed a job, had to show the state I can take care of myself, and I got rejected. I got turned down for a job at McDonald's.
It just wasn't for you. It just wasn't for you. There were greater things for you.
You know what? Talking about opportunities, right across the street was one of Chicagoland's family-owned catering companies. And I walked in there and I got the opportunity that would change my entire future. I got a job there as an events wait person and didn't know what it was, had no idea what to do. I was literally, stuffed in a tuxedo each weekend, figuring out the ins and outs of fine dining. And it stuck with me. I worked with that company. To give you guys a good idea of the timeline, that was in 1990. And I still on occasion do contract work with them because I believe in what they do. And they are my start. But yeah, so bartending actually happened a few years after that, because of course at 15 you can't serve drinks. And I was just pushed out there. It was, the bartenders at the wedding we were serving needed a break. And they were like, hey, you have a fresh tuxedo, go over there and do it. And it was really sad. I was the saddest bartender ever. I'd never been exposed to serving liquor, but I was bit. I was bitten. I was smitten right away. The moment I handed someone a drink and they take that first sip and that look of refreshment, or the look of, oh my God, I needed this. I've been waiting for this all day, or that ceremony took forever. This is what I've been waiting for. That look on the faces of every guest is what got me hook, line, and sinker. I was just sold. And then there was the tip jar, but
absolutely,
it was the tip jar. So, I continued through, finished college, and just before I was going to law school, I wanted to abandon law school and go to culinary school because I was so taken by food and beverage. And I was serious. My family laughed me out of there. Even my mentors from the catering company thought, wow, girl, if you don't go get your schooling and come back later. But yeah, I did end up leaving law school, much because of some family reasons. But yeah, that's kind of where it started. since then, I've always been moonlighting in the business. And my career path has been really winding and turning. But sure enough, when I got off work at 5 o'clock for my corporate job, I'd be working at someone's bar. When I got off work at 3 o'clock, when I was teaching, I was a school teacher. I literally was an educator for special needs children for a long time. I would go and I'd be slinging drinks at somebody's bar. And for me, part of it was, goal savings, but much of it kept me grounded. And I don't know if you guys ever remember, or you might not be old enough to remember those Myers-Briggs tests that you take in high school that kind of figure out who you are and how you are and what you're going to do. Well, I think something they missed with those tests was that I'm a giver. I'm a person that's like, I can come to your home and I'll end up serving you because that's who I am. So it was deeply ingrained in me. And that's how I got my start. The business I work in now is the Traveling Tender. It's also a nickname I have around town is the Traveling Tender, but it's the business I run. It's a mobile mixology company. And it started by accident. I literally was a new mom. And, while I had a job in the school district, I was still, I'd go to someone's party, I'd make them a good cocktail, and then they'd be like, oh, make me another one. And I'd be a guest at the party. And next thing I know, I'd spend like 2 or 3 hours behind their bar making drinks for people. And a few times people would pass the hat and they'd have like a hat, a few $100 and literally in like a little bag or a jar and say, hey, take this for helping us out. And I'm like, oh. And finally, a couple of those families who now are clients of mine said, you should do this as a business. And I go, no, there's no way anyone's going to pay me or anyone else to serve drinks at their home. That's silly. Nonsense. That was back in 2010. 2011 is when the Traveling Tender started. And for years, every event I did, whether it was corporate, wedding related, home-based, I had to pretty much translate for people what a mobile bartender meant. I had to define it every time. They were like, so what is it you're doing here? Or, why? Oh, that's a cool idea. Now, fast forward to today, there's so many of us in this space. Every time I look up, there's a new mobile bartender, and many of them, if you're out there, guys, they keep hitting me up in my DMs. Some of them call me even, and I appreciate the calls. I'm like really flattered. Some of them call me for advice. Some of them call me because, we share clients or whatever. I think it's awesome. It's a wonderful, this business, if you know anything about our business, and most of you on this call probably do, this is an industry full of job changers. For the longest time, hospitality has been the majority of us. This was not the career we set out for. If I look at the makeup of my own team, the Traveling Tender now has 17 bartenders in our core team. And the makeup of our team are a ton of people for whom their primary talents and skills are not, bar recipes. I mean, one of my bartenders is a medical student resident. Another is a pilot instructor. He literally trains people in STEM and aviation to fly planes. But he's a bartender with us. We have teachers, we have nurses, we have people of all walks. But one thing they have in common with us is that they're people. They're the people who, when you walk up to with a bad day or even a great day or cause for celebration, you want them to make your cocktail in the minute or two it takes them to make it. You want to hear them talk. You want to share with them your story. But that's how the Traveling Tender was born. I know it's probably a long-winded way to tell you, but that's how my life has been. It's all cricket turns here and there. And somewhere along the way, I met Josh. And Josh, we didn't even meet on the lines of hospitality or catering or cocktails. I believe it was another small business we were both supporting. And it just turned out, he was like, oh yeah, I do this thing. And I'm like, oh my God, you're Mr. Mixologist?
I'm not that important, y'all, just so y'all know, but go ahead.
No, I didn't fangirl, if that's what y'all think. I didn't become fangirl. But it was amazing. He was actually a force to be reckoned with here in Chicagoland. People recognized him. And, that's how I heard of him, because we must have had client overlap, or we must have had some people in the industry who also knew him and always brought him up. Speaking of fangirl, though, I am a fangirl. Jackie was on earlier, and I'm in the background like, yes, Jackie. I don't even think I've ever had a conversation with Jackie face to face. Besides a couple of decades ago, I did, but I was young and dumb, and I think I said no more than hi, and then I kind of snaked over to my corner. But he's a wonderful inspiration, and so are you, Josh, too. So are you.
Thank you. You know I don't like all that attention, but thank you. And also, I'm glad you told that whole story because you killed like 7 questions I had to ask you. So thank you so very, very much. I love it. But no, honestly, I remember we met. I think it was Latanya. I think that's who it was. She had a catering company, Cater to You. I think that's how we originally met. And then like you pulled up to the bar I was working at a couple of times, and we hung out, talked business, talked about things we were doing. And you always been a star. You know what I mean? You've always been somebody who's super dope to me, who I'm really glad that I have this platform to be able to bring you on it, showcase to the whole country and whoever else outside the country is watching, your talents and your skills, you know what I mean? Because you definitely deserve the kudos, for real.
Oh, I appreciate it, Josh. I appreciate it.
Yeah. We done this all over the country, took you to Kentucky with us and all that. Like, we've done this together over the years, man. I really love to see the growth of the Traveling Tender. I love to see you out here moving. Every time I look up, when people put them posts up and it'd be like, looking for a mobile bartender in Chicago, it's 3 names I always see. Sherri first, your name, and then I'll see my name. So it's like I see our names pop up, all over the place. So I'm really proud of all the work that we all are doing. Sherri with Spirits in Motion, you with Traveling Tender. I don't do mobile stuff as much anymore because I did it out of the fact that I couldn't find a job. I didn't have anything like this going on. So I was just doing it to sustain myself and to see how it's grown. Like you said, it's a new mobile bartender every damn day popping up, you know what I mean, all over the city. So I'm going to put you on the spot. What separates a Traveling Tender from everybody else? What does a Traveling Tender do that makes people want to keep continuously bringing you back?
I think it's because, I'm kind of old school. I have an old soul. I am probably a little bit more, I don't know. I'm going to stop using the O word, maybe seasoned.
We know.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more seasoned than many of the newer mobile bartenders out here. But I also treat the business in that way too. I know that, I'm awful at social media. You guys already know that. We're out there, but it's very sleepy. And that's how I treat the business too. And I think for the majority of our clients, that's the refreshing part. I will say that probably once a week, I hear from people like, why don't you put this on your webpage? Or why don't we see all of this? I don't, but I do things the way people operated business is probably in the 50s and 60s. I make phone calls. I have conversations. I check in, my niece, who's beautiful and brilliant and 14 years old, 15 now. She recently told me I even operate on social media like an old lady. Because she's like, hey, you're out there, you're everyone's like #1 fan. And I'm like, well, if you're doing something great, I'm gonna let you know. She goes, no, the way you do things now, you're supposed to like it if you do, or just scroll by. But if you do too much, you're doing too much. But that's me. And I think my clients enjoy that because we are in our 10th year, and thank you, Josh. We're in our 10th year, and I think we're at just over 2,700 events so far. And I've never done any marketing. So, and most of our business is sustained by word of mouth, referral clients, and repeat customers. I don't advise newer mobile bartenders to do that. It's a big chance to take on not marketing. It's a big chance to take, but it's simply it's how I built the business, and it's been how we have grown. For newer mobile bartenders, I probably advise you to do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Jackie made a mention earlier about like how you learn from people, what to do, and then also learn from others what not to do. I wouldn't advise it. It's too big of a chance to not market. Utilize social media. Get a billboard if you want. Make sure your website is all of that. But I also would advise you to not abandon what your mother, your grandmother might have done, and that is be personal, be a person, not just fingers on the other end of the text message.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nah, that's dope. I like that. I totally feel you on that. So look, let's talk about this cocktail you made because I love the name of it. One, the name was dope because I knew exactly where you was going with this. Let's talk about the cocktail. Let's talk about your inspiration of it, and then just break down, them little integral parts of it. And when can I come get one? Because you, like I said, you live down the street.
Well, I think you know what, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Josh Davis. So Josh likes to get behind the grill. I may as well call him J.O. Smokey or whatever, because he is the guy behind the grill. And I can't barbecue to save my life. I have a big love of barbecue. I recently tasked him to give me barbecue tutoring. So he's going to literally tutor me on how to barbecue.
It's in my calendar. I got you.
I know, and I sent him a message, put in your calendar. We're probably going to put a Brown and Balanced episode up about me burning up the house over at Josh's place.
Well, we'll have many rivers to cross while we're doing that.
Yes, we should. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of old school, and I keep things as personable as possible. I can't help it. That's just who I am. And when the good people out at Thirsty and Brown and Balanced and Lush Life, everyone got together on this episode months ago and reached out to gather all the materials needed. And I had just lost someone really key to me in my life. It was my grandmother, my father's mother. She was a wonderful woman. Her name was Minnie, and that's where the name of the cocktail comes from. Now, in case any of my cousins are on this line, I know that grandma didn't drink alcohol. Don't call me out on that, because I'm sure I'm gonna hear about it at the reunion. No, grandma didn't drink alcohol at all. She didn't touch the stuff, but she was heavy on the mind that week. And Lindsay and Brittany will attest to, I goofed up, made the wrong cocktail, and then when they corrected me on it,
I remember.
I admitted that, I'm thinking about my grandma, and that's what I poured into this cocktail. So, we may not be painters or spoken word artists or vocalists, or maybe you are, but for me, this is how I express myself. My grandma Minnie was a sweet woman in a swampy town in Arkansas, and she grew up in the most loving family, but under pretty difficult circumstances. Made some of the most complicated decisions through her life. And for me, she's a story of triumph. Others might see it as, oh, wow, man, poor girl in, the rural South or whatever. But for me, she's a story of triumph. Now, she's had 14 children, hundreds of grandchildren, nearly 1,000 great-grandchildren. There's a lot of us out here, but we all know Grandma Minnie is sweet. So this cocktail, it's sweet. It's got different, it's kind of some subtle complexities to it, like my grandma, but underneath it all is very strong, because as you know from the base spirit in the cocktail, that's what we know most about this spirit, is that it's very strong. What I knew I needed to put in there was a bit of cayenne pepper, which reminds me of her cooking, and a bit of brown sugar, also reminds me of her cooking. And we combined passion fruit, a bit of fresh orange and lime, and together it just comes together. Oh, and I also forgot that we also included Aperol, which also kind of attests to Grandma Minnie, again, being as she was a little bit complex. She was, known to be a mother, but also would get right out there on those little swampy fishing boats of my granddaddy. I mean, little teeny tiny fishing boats, and they'd come in and they'd have hundreds of sun perch just to feed their big family before they went back in the fields to chop cotton or tend to the farm that they had as sharecroppers. Right. So it's a lot of my history woven in there. So it's a strong pour of the overproof. There's Aperol in it. There's passion fruit. There's fresh lime and orange. We've even muddled in some strawberries. And once you shake it, add a bit of coconut water for refreshing. It becomes a really nice summer porch sipper, just like my grandma. You can sit on your porch in hot, humid, swampy Arkansas and have a sip of this cocktail, and just remember, grandma's warm arms wrapping you up in a hug. that's what I wanted to convey. I don't know if you guys are sipping it at home thinking, well, that was just a good drink. But for me, that's what I wanted to convey. And I think it's pretty cool. Did you get a chance to try it, Josh?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna wait till next Sunday when you coming over. I got you. We're gonna do it, sip it together, because I remember when you lost your grandmother, and you lost your grandmother around the same time I lost my dad. So they're probably kicking it together and watching us do this right now. So what I mean? We'll enjoy it together as a toast to our ancestors that got us to this point where we are now, and I'm very sure that they are very, very proud of both of us for all the work we both do. Huh?
Yes. I think I wasn't supposed to take a sip, was I?
No, you can sip. No shot. You can sip. No shot.
Okay.
You can sip it. By all means, sip it. I'm drinking this good Campari water so I can get my water intake in because I'll be listening to Christina. So
we got to get that Campari water in, right?
Yeah. So I'm not.
Campari water, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So Charli, thank you. I'm really happy that we was able to bring you on here. I've been saying I wanted to bring some Chi-Town flavor, on Brown and Balance, some not transplant Chicago, but people who grew up here, like it's like Sherri, like now we got some more Chicago people coming next, and just really show some love to our city. I want to say now, whenever I do a Brown and Balance live here, just consider yourself signed up and one of the bartenders for the Brown and Balance live event.
Oh, there's that Brown and Balance hug.
Right, you know what I mean? I got you. So before we get out of here, tell everybody how to find you, how to book you, how to get you to come and travel tender to their establishment or their home or their event, their venue, wherever they are.
Thanks, Josh. Yes, if you're interested in the traveling tender, again, we are a team of bartenders, wait staff, private gaming dealers, any front of lines staff you need for your event. You can reach us on Instagram at The Traveling Tender. We're also on Facebook at The Traveling Tender USA. Or you can just give me a call because, again, I'm going to have a conversation with you. We're 312-880-7007. And we also have a website. The website is WePourYouParty.com.
Word. That's another first. You the first person to put your phone number on Brown and Balance. That's what's up.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Now, watch. I'm going to get those DMs. They're like, you are so old school.
Right.
I actually use a phone to make calls. Go figure.
That's what's up. Well, look, don't go nowhere. I want everybody to come back on because it's the end of our show. This show's been amazing. So we're going to bring everybody back on screen for some last thoughts. Ramona threatened to be in the green room. You know what I'm saying? I got you, Ramona. It's coming. You know what I mean? I'm going to just wait and just bring it to you when I see you, Sherri, probably in the ocean somewhere. You know what I mean?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, wow.
So, I like to do this, man. At the end of the show, I like to just bring everybody on for some last thoughts. We're going to let the ladies go first, then Jackie, then me, and you can just leave the people with, just something, you want to leave them with before we get out of here.
I'll start. Life is short. We're seeing that more than ever right now. So do what you love, do it well, and do it for the people that you love. Like, no matter who that is, your kids, your significant other, mom, your adorable cat, Bowie, whatever. Do it for the people you love, do the things that you love, and do it well, because tomorrow's not promised. So that's my parting gift.
Word. Sherri?
I say 3 mezcals and 2 beers in. Live on purpose. Do everything on purpose. Do everything you think you want to do so that you have no regrets later in life. I'm not going to live my life to say, man, I wish I had. No, I'm going to say, I remember when, what I can remember of it. I remember when. So live on purpose.
Word. Charli?
I agree with these queens. Yes, absolutely. Be you. Be absolutely you, no matter what. It might seem a little chatty. It might seem really nerdy at times, but be you, because that's who you have to see in the mirror every morning and every night.
Word. Big bro.
You are all future ancestors. Live a life that they'll be telling stories about for centuries. May you live forever. May you never die.
See, now I gotta go last and try to top all that good words we got today. But
Absolutely.
I'm gonna just say this, man. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with y'all. One. First of all, I love all y'all. Thank you. All y'all been integral in everything I'm doing. You know what I mean? Y'all all people I look to. Y'all are family. This ain't no industry friends shit. This is family now. Second, it's our anniversary, man. 4 years strong of Brown and Balance, man. We've been doing it.
Do you
4
know
years
what
now.
today
We're gonna keep
is?
pushing. You know what I mean? Hey, I will tell y'all this though. Next year, live in Portland Cocktail Week, it'll be the 5-year anniversary of Brown and Balance. It will be the roast of Josh Davis and Brown and Balance.
Yeah.
Oh, count me in.
It will be the roast of me. Now, when y'all remember this roast, just know I'm gonna roast y'all.
No.
Yeah, y'all know how I do. So that's gonna happen, man. And outside that, man, like everybody else said, man,
I don't want any parts.
like everybody said, man, love your family, love your friends, fix any beefs you got out here, man, because life is short, man. You don't want to lose somebody and y'all got unfinished business, man. And keep family business with us.
Yo.
Do not go on the internet blasting each other. Do not go on the internet talking shit about another black person. Yo, hit that person up, fix that in private, because the other side don't need to know about what we got going on. Real talk, man. And that's from your boy. I'll see y'all at the next Brown and Balance, man. We out.
Out.